Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of St. Joseph's Prep Lacrosse here on WSJP for our pregame show. I'm Ryan Sullivan. I'll be on play-by-play for today's game. Dom Campanaro will be on in just about a few minutes. But before Dom Campanero's on the mic, I have a very special guest for you here today. I guess you say the president of Carroll Sports Media. He is a writer for the Inquirer, a senior at Archbishop Carroll will be attending Missouri next year, also working for Philly Sports Digest as well, and there are many other websites, but it would take me a million years for me to get into. Mike Livingston, how we doing?
I'm doing great, Ryan. I'm doing great.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. We're obviously here at Arcadia University. You were telling me that your first internship was at Arcadia, was it?
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Freshman year?
Sophomore year. Sophomore year, it would have been the beginning of my sophomore year. I started covering field hockey and soccer here that fall season.
Wow, incredible. Now, we do have to give a disclaimer to the audience. This will be a audio-only broadcast here today. Fortunately, it was out of our pay grade to get video for this broadcast, but it will be audio-only here today. But let's get into today's action. Mike, the last time LaSalle faced St. Joe's Prep, they were able to take the 12-9 win over the Hawks. Both of us predicted that LaSalle would win that game. But ever since then, LaSalle has been dominant as usual, not losing a game in PCL competition, have dominated their way onto the PCL Championship. You can say the same for St. Joe's Prep Lacrosse. They had an upset win over Radnor that not many people expected them to win. What have you seen from both teams since last time they played each other?
I mean, starting with the Prep, they obviously got a lot of confidence out of that game against LaSalle, thinking, well, going into that same old, we're going to lose to LaSalle, and it goes the same way it usually does, lose by 7, get a little momentum in that first half, and you just don't get anything there. But we saw Prep compete with LaSalle throughout the game, which is a lot better than we've seen in the past, a lot more than we've gotten from them in years past. A lot of these games that the Prep just seems to be one step behind LaSalle. That wasn't the case, and we saw Prep come out in these next couple weeks. Obviously, they drop a couple to Perk School, they drop one to Hill, but then you take down a Radnor team that beat LaSalle by 8, which is really where you see the improvement from Prep. Obviously, they'll dominate their way through the Catholic League. We see them, obviously, now in the Catholic League Championship game. They have good chances, which is more than we can say in years past. It's for LaSalle. They're LaSalle. They are going to do what they do, and it's really going to be up to the Prep to decide their own fate here, because if they sit back and play their game, the fact of the matter is they're going to lose. They're going to lose pretty comfortably.
I mean, yeah. Obviously, in the last go-around, you were not too impressed by St. Joe's Prep. You thought it was just the same old, same old. A lot of people would agree. The Prep, obviously, not a good track record against LaSalle, but you look at this senior class, you have a lot of great guys out there. You got Quinn Gaffney, Bieberbach, you got Cush, you got Keegan Dunn, all committed to colleges. Would you say, and would it be fair to say, that this is the best chance that the Prep has to beat LaSalle?
Well,
in years.
You look back, there's a lot of great St. Joe's Prep teams. This St. Joe's Prep team is definitely pretty impressive. I can't speak for the Prep teams of the past because I haven't seen them, but I would say compared to what I have seen over the last 3-4 years, this is probably the best St. Joe's Prep team I've seen, and probably the team with the most confidence in beating this LaSalle team, a team that they led against in that game just a few weeks ago.
All right, we talked a lot about the great things about the Prep, but let's talk about something that hasn't been too impressive, which is the face-off. The Prep not winning too many face-offs really over the course of the season in out-of-league play and against LaSalle. Mike, answer me this. How do you think the Prep can get that done today in the face-off and winning them, I guess I should say?
Fact of the matter is, Ryan, I don't think they necessarily can, and I think that's what they're going to have to work around. But you look back to that game just a few weeks ago, I think Prep can win this game, could have won that game if they were more dominant on the faceoff, because it came down to the fact that they could not get possession and they could not get to work once they did have possession. It's a game of momentum. LaSalle's starting with possession every single time. You're working so hard to get the ball back. You don't start with the ball. That's simply taking you out of it from the jump.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree the Prep have not been too great on the faceoffs, but I think today you got to get more guys in there. I think you got to get Nick Cunningham in there. I think you got to get Drew Reeves in there. Chase Carl, Nick Dobkin. You've seen those sort of guys get on the faceoff before. Obviously, in the first game against Devon we saw, and in other games, I know Nick Cunningham did pretty much all the face-offs against Springfield, not winning too many, but it's still to get some new guys in there. These guys have experience. I think you got to get new guys in there. I think you got to switch things up because I think in the last time, Mike, maybe you agree with me, that the Prep offensively were kind of nervous to take shots because they lost the ball. LaSalle goes down and score. You don't really know if you're going to win that face-off because you haven't won many this season. I don't know if you would agree with that, but that's kind of was my takeaway from the game, and that's part of the reason I think the Prep couldn't have won. But you're looking at a guy like Peterman scored 3 goals off the face-off. I mean, literally just ran down the field and just shot it and put it in. I mean, it's not good for the Prep when it comes to the face-off, and you don't really want to sound negative, but it's just kind of the fact of the matter if that's what it is. I mean, not much you can do about it. But Mike, before you get into your stuff for your internships and all that, what's the biggest factors in this game for both teams?
I think the biggest factor for LaSalle is stay dominant on the faceoff. And the biggest factor for Prep is how are you going to pace yourself if you cannot win faceoffs? Because I don't necessarily think they can. How are you going to pace yourself? How are you going to get possession without drawing so much energy out? Because that's what's going to kill them. That's what we saw at the end of that last game. We saw Prep compete throughout, but once it got down the stretch, they were tired. And that's what's going to happen again today. And you know Jack Forrester and LaSalle are going to focus on the faceoff, which they've dominated in the past, and then focus on just playing their game and wilting down St. Joe's Prep.
How should the Prep pace themselves this game? I guess slower is what you're trying to imply?
I'd say, yeah, take your time. Try to keep it, don't get alarmed if LaSalle gets out to a quick lead. Don't freak out. Don't necessarily change your plans. Don't change your game plan. Don't change your play style. Don't do anything crazy out of the jump.
All right. Fair enough. Mike, I'll ask you one last question. What's your prediction for this game?
I think the Prep's going to put up a good fight, and that's more than I would have said a few weeks ago. Do have to go with LaSalle, though, 14-10.
All right. Fair enough. Mike, tell the people where they can find you.
Instagram at ByMikeLive0. Twitter, live_tweets22. Literally any media outlet in the Philadelphia area, you can probably find me. Philly Sports Digest, PA Football News, Philly Lacrosse, Beyond the Arc, you name it, I'm probably there.
All right. Well, make sure to go check out Mike Livingston. Make sure to continue to follow him once he gets to Missouri next year. Dom Campanaro will be on the mic in just a few minutes. Mike, thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan Sullivan. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Thank you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of St. Joseph's Prep Lacrosse here on WSJP, where today the Hawks of St. Joseph's Prep continue the quest for the PCL Championship. The end of the road is here against LaSalle College High School. We're about to get into it in just a few moments. I'm Ryan Sullivan, joined here by Dom Campanaro. Dom, you got to get hyped, man. It's the PCL Championship.
Ryan, I mean, 10 out of 10 intro for you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm normally the intro guy, but I was really impressed by that. But, yeah, half with the national anthem hits you.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, really, when you think about this, like you talk about the impact of this game, I mean, it's there. It's there. Both teams, they know what's on the line. They obviously do, and I think we both know what's at stake for this game.
Yeah, Dom, I mean, we had a great pregame show with Mike Livingston of Carroll Sports Media. Make sure you guys go check out their page on YouTube. And we obviously have an incredible game here at Arcadia. Disclaimer for our audience, there will be no video for this game. It is an audio-only stream. As I said before, it is below our pay grade to know why that is the case. But we do not have a video stream, but we still have the same and great coverage for you all here on WSJP. Dom, I mean, we're about to get into it here. Captains facing off, goalies to their goals, and the student section for the Hawks is loud. We got the prep flag out, breaking news for the audience, and now getting ready to face off here are the Hawks. It looks like Drew Reeves is facing off, starting for the Hawks, and then the MVP, Christian Peterman, LaSalle, first team All-Catholic, the Babson commit. And now here we go. Face off, won by Peterman. Not much of a surprise there, but he is the MVP for a reason. And now here come the Explorers starting things off. Ball being swung around here now at the top right near the middle way of the field, that being Dominello, and he swings it over to Malone. And now LaSalle getting their offensive guys in the game.
And LaSalle, obviously, one of the best team in the PCL by far, undefeated season. And it all starts on offense. 275 goals this year, only 91 allowed. And that's a big threat into this game, especially for Keegan Dunn for St. Joe's.
Ball being swung to the left and now behind the net. And now the LaSalle trying to get the ball inside. Now here to Malone, defended on Tommy Duffy at the top. Now back to the left. Now right back to the middle to Malone. Tommy Duffy, great defense. Help defense comes in now to the right. Ball being moved inside. Shot on goal. No good there. That being by William Trybinski. First team All-Catholic. Ball goes out, but it will remain with LaSalle.
And I think LaSalle right now is playing with that attitude. Like, they know that they can play at such a professional level, and how can they put that into action? And, certainly I see it here.
Now, once again, ball being swung around here for LaSalle. Here's Malone. Help defense once again coming in. And now great recovery there by Nick Dobkin defending Dominello. And now, once again, ball being swung around. Now it's behind the net. Trybinski has it. Tries to get around with it. Dominello once again. Back to Malone at the top. Now to Dominello at the right. And LaSalle just consistently moving the ball here early. Only one shot on goal attempted. Nobody defending Trybinski behind the net. Now ball right once again at the top. LaSalle just holding it here. The Prep have not seen the ball offensively just yet. Here's to the top. Now Rigoni shot on goal. Saved by Keegan Dunn. That was a absolute missile sent at Keegan Dunn. And now here's Nick Cunningham. He's getting defended. He's going to move towards the sideline. Now pass up the sideline to Mason Warak, the freshman. And here he comes. Stop and go from him. Swings it over to Quinn Gaffney on the right side behind the net. And now swings it to the left side behind the net to Dom Flynn. Ball being swung around Bieberbach. Now to Trot Cush at midfield. And now to Webster at midfield as well.
Ryan, if I want to score early here, I think I'm going at the Bieberbach. I want a nice high wrist shot there. As well, turf is wet. It's going to bounce a lot faster, so those bounce shots might get by.
Indeed, and now here's Dom Flynn moving back to midfield. Gets it over to Gaffney at pretty much the midway point. And now over to Craig Webster on the right side. Kind of near that right side of the sideline. Coach Prince Horn barking out orders. Here's Dom Flynn. Gets it to Bieberbach now. Just, once again, the Prep just moving like all the way out to midfield. And a bounce pass to Gaffney. It's loose, and this one's going to be recovered by LaSalle. A turnover for the Hawks. Not what you wanted to see early. Now the ball knocked loose by Luke Bieberbach at midfield. And here's Trot Cush in transition, but he's going to be stopped. And now they get it back over to Mason Warak. Now to Queen Gaffney at midfield.
Gaffney, arguably the MVP of the playoffs for St. Joe's. To see how he plays tonight in the chip.
Help defense comes in as Gaffney was trying to go up the middle. He passes it over to the left to Dom Flynn, and now back to Gaffney near the center. And now over to the right to Mason Warak. He's forced the left. Help defense comes in. And now inside to Trot Kush, who scores! Trot Kush gets things going for the Hawks. It's 1-0.
Excitement through the roof, Ryan. I mean, you said it right there in your voice. I mean, you want to go up big, you go up big right away. And that's exactly how they respond. St. Joe's on the sideline. Electricity.
That's what you needed to start things off for St. Joe's Prep. Back to the face-off. Peterman, Drew Reeves still in there. He probably will get some changes throughout the course of the game. But now the Hawks hype on the sideline. You heard the student section. That has really picked up, actually, in the last few minutes. Go check that out. Go check that out on St. Joe's Prep Instagram. You see the student section in that photo. But here, back to the face-off. And now Peterman wins once again, and he is going to try and go right at the middle, passing it around. Help defense comes in, and now the ball just being swung around here by LaSalle.
LaSalle will not waste any time here, Ryan. You know if they can tie it right away, they're the better team in this matchup. Let's see how they can play against this stifling Prep defense right now.
And now here is Kruger, and now he swings it. And now the ball behind the net over to Trybinski. And now LaSalle, once again, just taking their time. They did it earlier, and almost halfway through the first quarter here.
I'm watching kicking it on. It looks really stiff right now, but, you know, as the game goes on, I expect them to get a lot more loose, more excited. Obviously, they try to win through the roof right now. St. Joe's just needs to build up a lead right now. One goal. It's nowhere near
Kruger trying to get inside here on Duffy. Great defense from him. Ball now being moved around to Trybinski behind the net. And now it'll be moved over to the top. And now Jackson Trybinski actually tried thinking about taking it. It's kind of hard to distinguish. Back over to Kruger, and now tries to get inside. Shot on goal from him, no good, but it goes behind the out of bounds. And William Trybinski closest to it. LaSalle retains possession.
I'm watching out for Jackson Trybinski here. It looks like they're trying to set him up inside the goal, what they did earlier with Kush, obviously. We'll see how that works out.
Picks it here for Basilar. Now moved over to the left. Back to Basilar at the top, and now he's going to try and get inside. He's forced inside by Duffy, but Chase Carl's ready for him. And Duffy forces him outside, and now the ball just being swung around. Trybinski behind the net, looking to get an angle, but Drew Reeves not going to let him do so. He passes it out once again, and now the ball just being swung around here by LaSalle. Here's Weasel, and now this one behind the net over to Trybinski once again. Now swings it. Trybinski inside. William Trybinski tried shooting. It looks like it went out of his stick. Nick Cunningham trying to get there closely, but it was counted as a shot, and now LaSalle retains, and here they come. They're trying to move things quickly here, but Nick Dobkin not going to let them do so. And now
exactly what I know there, Ryan. They want to go right at the goal, and obviously Trybinski's the guy to go there.
LaSalle picking up steam, and now Trybinski has to move outside. Shot on goal, no good. It looks like it's going to go out. Keegan Dunn goes out of the net, but he realizes he's not going to get it, and now LaSalle have it.
LaSalle's doing a great job as they bring the ball back. They're crowding the crease right away just in case St. Joe's slips up a bit and they can pounce right away, but we'll see how that works out.
And now here's Kruger, and he loses it, and now Chase Carl with the stick checks, forcing him out, and now the ball is loose, but once again recovered by LaSalle here, and they've held the ball for almost 2 minutes here, and they're going to try and maybe shoot. No, they will just stay on the outside. Now it looks like they're going to try and get inside there. And now here's Weasel. Shot on goal. It is good! William Trybinski, first team All-Catholic, and he ties things up.
You know, they wanted to get the setup there. They were looking inside. They saw it wasn't working. They switched the outside. Obviously, St. Joe's too far out. Obviously, saw Chase Carl trying to get a little excited there. He came out too far. Dobkin as well got a little excited, came out too far. And they said when they went into the crease, they're able to box guys out, swing it in, and tie this game up.
Yeah, now it's all tied up here at 1, and the Hawks right back to the face-off here, and we're hoping that the Prep can find a way to win this face-off, which is what they so desperately need, and they had a great offensive possession. But now back to it here. Reeves still in there, and once again won by Peterman. 3 straight wins on the face-off for LaSalle, and there's a reason he's the MVP. Drew Reeves just trying to knock the ball loose, and a stick check behind the back from Reeves. Doesn't knock it out, though. And the Prep going to have to shut down LaSalle defensively here.
You know, it's been all defense for St. Joseph, feels like this whole game. It's been nearly 6 minutes of defense for the Hawks. Not what we want to see early on.
Here's Dominello, swings it back to the top over to Malone. Now the ball just being swung around. Trybinski behind the net, and now pass to William Trybinski. It doesn't really look like he noticed it. It goes out, and now the Prep with the ball. A big opportunity for the Hawks here.
I think you want to swing to Cunningham here. I think you want to get him going early. Obviously, see him pointing signals to UMass commit going D1.
And now
This
Keegan
might
Dunn,
be costly.
a big pass upfield to Dom Flynn, but he secures it. Was not costly there, but it could have been.
Needs to be careful with them. That's what it cost them the last game against LaSalle. 4 mistakes there on the deep pass.
Right, and now Dom Flynn rolls it to Craig Webster near midfield, and now Webster realizes that all the offensive guys are in. He's going to try and win one-on-one here, change of direction from him, and now he's just going to pass it to the left over to Dom Flynn, back to Webster at the top.
These LaSalle guys are at 100% energy right now. They haven't been drained any bit. This is what you need to do here. Set as high as you can. Drain the clock as long as possible. Any way possible. Obviously, you want the score, but you need to get this LaSalle team really tired real quick.
Quinn Gaffney behind the net now moves back over to the right sideline. He's going to try and find somebody open. He finds Warrack at the top, kind of right near that circle. And now over to Dom Flynn. Flynn tries to get inside, and he's able to win his one-on-one, but he doesn't shoot. Might have had an opportunity there, but he didn't take it. He passes it outside over there. The Trot Cush. All of us up here in the press box kind of held our breath for a second, but nothing came from it. Here's Quinn Gaffney on the right. Gaffney trying to get an angle here. He gets the right, but help defense comes in. He's just going to go behind the net, gets it over to Flynn. Flynn, pass outside to Warrack, pretty dangerous there, but he secures it. Warrack trying to get inside through the left. Help defense once again comes in, and LaSalle able to shut down the Hawks. Now to Dom Flynn, left side behind the net. Now gets it fully behind the net to Quinn Gaffney. Tries to get the angle himself. Stick checks come in. Gaffney trying to find a shot. He shoots it, and he's not able to score, but it will stay with the Hawks. Dom Flynn and Bieberbach closest to it.
You know, you got to be careful there as well, you know. Even if LaSalle's able to get a hand in there to stop it, again, it can be costly. You need to worry about that. Obviously, Gaffney is a guy this whole playoffs, he's single-handedly carried it, you could say, but we'll see, we'll see.
And now Bieberbach on the left side of the net, and now over to Trot Cush near midfield. Cush gets over to Warrack. Warrack on the right, gets back to Cush. He's wide open, but he was kind of more on the outside there. But now Cush going to try and take it inside himself. Shot on goal from him. It's up in the air. And who's going to come down with it? It's still knocked loose. And Trot Cush trying to come up with it, trying to kick it out here. But it's going to be recovered for LaSalle. And now here come LaSalle in transition. Here's Kruger. Almost stick checked out. Shot on goal. It is good! Jackson Trybinski. Another goal for him, and LaSalle take the 2-1 lead.
You know, hot potato right there by LaSalle. Obviously, we talk about these costly plays by St. Joe's. In the air, they decided to kick it to the opposing side on their own goal. You know, you can't do that 9 times out of 10. Especially against LaSalle. I mean, what a dominant force they are. And they're taking an early lead. Yeah,
and Trot Cush, very costly there. Now Tommy Duffy facing off for the Hawks. Not typical from the Hawks, though. You don't typically see Tommy Duffy out there, but a bit of confusion here with personnel.
Watching Peterman here, because he could drive down and make it a 2-score game right away. Obviously, PCL MVP,
yeah,
all speed.
The Hawk. It looks like Tommy Duffy was trying to knock it back over to Dobkin, but Peterman not going to let him do so, and he wins the faceoff. 4 straight wins for LaSalle.
See what LaSalle's going to do here. I expect them to go well outside on the perimeter more than attacking the inside. It's obviously staying out of the crease, but we'll see.
Now Trybinski being Jackson behind the net. And now swings it around to the left. And now just a pass outside. LaSalle just trying to get their guys in there. Dominello swings it over to Malone. A lot of all-Catholic guys in there. It's pretty much an all-Catholic team for LaSalle. And now Trybinski behind the net swings it around to the left. And now back to the top to Malone. Pick set. Tommy Duffy trying to play great defense here, and he knocked the ball loose, but Malone still comes up with it. And now the ball's still knocked loose. It could go out here. Trybinski tried to save it. It goes out of bounds. Great defense from Tommy Duffy and Nick Dobkin.
It's all about that pressure right there. Obviously, stick check, stick check, stick check. All he did the whole time, applying that constant pressure, forces it out of bounds. St. Joe's coming to our side now.
Looks like Chris Bryan and Mason Warrack going to come in for the Hawks, but Nick Cunningham near the right sideline here, and he is getting pressure. Nick Cunningham, though, and was able to get through the defense, but Coach Princehorn calls timeout for the Hawks. And it is 2-1 2-1 LaSalle with 2:04 remaining in the first quarter. We'll take a break here on WSJP. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on WSJP for the final 2 minutes here of action. 2:04 remaining in this first quarter. The Hawks have the ball after the turnover. The Hawks have gotten 2 turnovers here in this first quarter, but only 1 have been turned to goals. The Prep also losing 4 straight faceoffs to start this game, but they're trying to tie things up here. And now here's Trakush, loses it to start, and that is going to be costly once again. And LaSalle recovers, and now timeout taken by LaSalle. We won't go to a break here, but Dom, what have you seen in this first quarter from the Explorers and the Hawks?
It's just been back and forth, obviously. Let's talk about LaSalle, obviously. The team going to this, obviously, with their hands so far. You know, they got the talent, obviously. All around stellar everywhere. The thing they're doing so far, which is probably the best thing you could do, is draining this St. Joe's team. Obviously, they're running on so much adrenaline. If you can knock them out early on and get that lead right away, LaSalle's going to come out of here as PCL champs once again. But really, and you know, St. Joe's, obviously these little mistakes are really costing them big time. I mean, the same thing that happened in the last match, we'll talk about that, obviously. Keegan Dunn, that's been the center focus for this game, in my opinion. Obviously, he's had a roller coaster of a season, maybe to say the least, leading St. Joe's to an impressive 16-4 record, obviously, allowing 104 goals, obviously now 106. But, you know, it all starts with Keegan Dunn, obviously. How can he play in this game? And it's just the defense. Can the defense shut down this potent LaSalle offense?
Yeah, the Hawks with a turnover here, and they gave it right back to LaSalle. So now LaSalle's going to have it with 1:56 remaining here in the first quarter, and they'll try to take the 3-1 lead over the Hawks potentially. But the Hawks trying to get it right back here. We'll see if they are able to do so. And now here we go. Whistle being blown, and now LaSalle in their own territory. Quinn Gaffney trying to defend. And the ball being moved around here. Tommy Duffy with the stick check's not able to make anything happen. Keegan Dunn's going to have to get back in the net. He came out quickly, and he's able to do so. Here's Malone on the right wing. I'm sorry, the left wing. And now he will wait for the offensive guys. LaSalle, no necessarily much of a rush, I guess you should say.
You know, obviously they're just playing slow pace now. 1:24 left. They don't really need to do much right now except drain the clock. Right now it's getting Chase Carl Tyler to see there.
And here's Malone on the top of the key, swings it around to the right wing over to Trybinski. Now gets it back behind the net, and now it's back right behind the net once again. And LaSalle just continuously moving the ball around, and now they're picking up the pace here, right back to the top of the key to Malone. Now over to William Trybinski, and now right back to the top of the key to Malone, and he's just going to hold it here, under a minute remaining at Arcadia. Now Jackson Trybinski had to hold it there. And now back behind to the top of the key over to Malone. And now shot on goal from him. It is good! Malone scores. LaSalle takes the 3-1 lead.
St. Joe's was looking for that shot, and they couldn't find a way to respond. Obviously, let's talk about that real quick. A quick breakdown. They're crowding the net. They're crowding the crease. They don't want the shot to be inside. That's what they were looking for this game. And LaSalle tempted them there. They pulled from outside. They're going to cut in. The shot there, obviously, tricks Keegan Dunn. And it gets a 2-goal lead already.
Yeah, now Trot Kush going to take the face-off here with Peterman Once again, another guy we have not seen this season take the face-off, that being Trot Cush. And now he'll go up against the PCL MVP. It looks like the prep strategy is to kind of knock it back over to guys like Duffy, but Peterman once again wins it. He's going to try and take it inside. Shot on goal, no good. But Jackson Trybinski right behind the net, closest to it. LaSalle has it now, and now here's Jackson swinging it around over to Kruger.
Gotta watch out for those quick Peterman runs downfield. I mean, talk about like Nick Cunningham relevant. Just all speed and hustle right there. Gotta be careful for St. Joe's.
Indeed, and now ball back behind the net. And now over to the left wing. That being over to Kruger. And
pulled up for LaSalle, just sitting down on the ground right now in the goal.
Bastelar roll dodge, and now help defense comes in, but they're going to leave a man open. And now shot on goal, saved by Keegan Dunn. 10 seconds. The Hawks just going to hold it here. And, yeah, they got 5 seconds. I think that Trot realizes that there's not much of a chance here, and Trot's going to shoot it all the way. But it's going to be saved, and that will do it for the first quarter. The Hawks sticking with LaSalle, but LaSalle have scored 3 straight goals here on the prep. They lead 3-1. We'll take a break here on WSJP. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Back on WSJP for second quarter action between LaSalle College High School and St. Joe's Prep. LaSalle leading 3-1 as we go into the second quarter. Our producer, Ryan Condon, is more updated than the actual scoreboard. What do you know? Nonetheless, face off here, Peterman, and right back to Drew Reeves for the Hawks after getting Tommy Duffy and then Trot Cushion there, but here we go. And face off won by Peterman once again, and the Prep have not been able to win one face-off today. And now ball being swung around right a little bit behind the net there on the left side. And now here's Trybinski. Swings it around there over to Jackson Trybinski, and now LaSalle just getting there. Offensive guys in there. Here's Malone at the top of the key.
Now Prep will spread out on defense as well. Corralling inside. We'll see what they can do here.
Dominell on the right wing, back over to Trybinski behind the net. Now back over to Dominell on the right wing. Help defense comes in. And now to Malone, top of the key. And now Dominell tried passing it around, and he loses it, but it recovers. Almost disastrous there. And LaSalle trying to get a bit fancy there with the underhand tosses. And now LaSalle trying to pick up the pace here. They get it behind the net over to Trybinski. I'm sorry, Kruger. And now getting it on the outside. Here's Rigoni. And now back over to Malone. Rigoni once again. The top of the key now to the right over to Trybinski, and now he just takes it to the outside, but gets it right back to the right wing over to Malone. Now back behind the net to Kruger, and now the sticks up for the Hawks and making sure nothing can get by, no angles. And now LaSalle just really rapid pace moving the ball around here. Now over to the right wing, over to Dominell, and he moves back up to the top of the key, swings it over to still to the top of the key, now back to the right wing. Top of the key once again. Can't even say anybody's name before they pass it. Trybinski on the right wing, able to get by Nick Dobkin, but passes it right back to the top of the key. LaSalle continuously moving the ball here. Tommy Duffy, great defense. Ball has to be moved out, and now the ball is actually loose. A bad pass. It looked like Nick Dobkin pushed there, and yeah, that's what they're going to call on him. Once again, unfortunate for the Hawks.
That defensive sequence for St. Joe's, they're playing ball. They're not playing player there, and that could affect how the score really is. LaSalle can cut in right away and capitalize early if they don't adjust right away.
Yeah, personal foul there on Nick Dobkin, and that's a shame for the Hawks. They've had a few mishaps here today, which have led to the score, but the Hawks trying to get another turnover here defensively. They were able to get 2 in the first quarter, and now the ball over to the left wing to Trybinski, and now fake pass, and shot on goal, saved by Keegan Dunn. A great shot there by Rigoni, but Keegan Dunn able to save it, and now the Hawks with an opportunity. Dunn trying to find anybody open, and LaSalle face guarding everyone. Chris Bryan getting into the game for the Hawks, and that's who Keegan Dunn will find. And now Bryan up the middle, and now the Hawks can get their offensive guys in there. Reeves out, Warak in, Gaffney now on the left wing, deep on the left wing, and now a high pass to Dom Flynn. That was disastrous, or almost disastrous, I guess I should say. And now Flynn to the top, gets it over to Chris Bryan near midfield, and now he swings it to Warak, pretty much right next to him. And now Warak being forced right, still really near the top of the key, gets it over to Flynn on the right wing, and now Flynn thought he was going to use his speed there, but he backs up and now swings it back to Warak. And now Warak stop and go, moves back out over to Flynn at the top of the key, back to Warak on the right wing. The Hawks just try to move inside, try to get the ball inside there, but they're not really able to. Nice roll dodge there from Warak, and now Dom Flynn, top of the key, going to try and use his speed to get inside.
Kush.
Gets inside to Kush, like you said, Dom, but he was shot, and it looked like it hit off the crossbar, but it goes back behind, out of bounds. The Hawks able to keep possession of it. Dom, you almost called it there.
You saw us out there. Let's see what they're going to do here. I'm watching Bieberbach now. I think that they might set him up on an outside shot.
See if they do so. Gaffney trying to get the angle here, but there's a bunch of bodies inside, and Bieberbach looks like he's trying to get set up. Gaffney, I don't know if that was a pass or a shot, but it's loose, and now somebody trying to recover here.
There.
Dom Flynn able to recover, and he moves out with it, and now swings it over to Gwyn Gaffney on the left wing, and now once again.
He wanted Kush there. He wanted Kush there.
Yeah, he definitely wanted Kush cutting on the inside, and now to the right wing over to Bieberbach, back behind the net over to Warak. He's on the right side, his left, and now moves over to the other side of the net. He almost slipped there. Warak back to the middle, tries to get the angle, thought about the shot, not going to take it, and he tried a cross-field pass. I think that was a shot, and it, yes, it was. It was actually tipped. So, yeah, it was tipped, so we'll stay with the Hawks.
You can't force anything here. You really can't. You're only down 2 right now. St. Joe's really just can't throw away a shot. Warak was looking to waste the ball there. You can't do that, but
here's Chris Bryan.
watch inside again.
Yeah, Bieberbach tried to cut inside, but they couldn't find him. He got double-teamed, and now dangerous pass to Kush.
Yeah, outside as well.
Yeah,
he loses
right.
that. That's going to be a turnover easily.
Right. And now Dom Flynn back to the midfield, and now gets over to Gaffney on the right wing, back to Dom Flynn at the top of the key. And now the Hawks are trying to set something up inside, but they have not been able to find it so far here in the second quarter. Dom Flynn to the left wing, and he passes it all the way back over to the top of the key. Long pass from him over to Quinn Gaffney, now to the right wing, over to Chris Bryan. Bryan to the behind the net to Dom Flynn, deep behind the net, and now over to Warak on the right side behind the net, now to the right wing over to Bryan, back to the top of the key to Gaffney. And now Gaffney gets a pick set by Kush. He goes around it, and Gaffney now with a roll dodge from him. He's too far away to take the shot. Now uses the pick once again from Kush. He gets hit in the helmet there. Lots of bodies flying inside. Ball is loose. Shot by Bieberbach, and he scores! Luke Bieberbach able to come out with the ball in a sea of gold, and now there's some debate going on from the officials, and they're going to say he was in the crease. Bieberbach in the crease, no goal, and LaSalle get the turnover. You could hear it from the Hawks student section. It was kind of hard to tell from here, and now LaSalle going to try and capitalize. Another unfortunate turn of events for the Hawks. Wow.
I mean, I thought Gavin was about to score there. Cutting through, left, right, juking, everything. I thought he got through there. Obviously, Bieberbach had the shot inside the crease for us to yellow circle around the net. Obviously, you guys can't see that within 5 feet.
And now, pass inside to Trybinski. He loses it. It's loose now. And
gotta pick it up.
And LaSalle comes up with the, you mentioned them. You got to pick it up there, but they're unfortunately not, the Hawks not unfortunately unable to. And LaSalle back with it now. And just again, another mishap from the Hawks. He almost had a turnover there. But if Trybinski would have got that one, he probably would have scored as he had an open net over to Keegan Dunn. And now LaSalle just holding it behind the net to get over onto the left wing, that being to Malone. And now guys are open for LaSalle. The prep double teaming guys really on the ball here. Maybe it's a scare tactic, not necessarily sure. Ball back to the left wing now, and now the ball just being swung around over to Kruger, and now over to the right wing to Trybinski, back behind the net.
I'm watching Wazel on the inside right there inside of us right now, right in front of.
Yeah, Trybinski tried another cut, but Trot Kush was right there to defend him. And now, once again, here is Kruger, top of the key, swings it back to Trybinski to the left wing. Dobkin trying to play defense on him. And now over to the right wing, over to William Trybinski. Good defense from Duffy, back over to the right wing. Now behind the net, the Hawks going to have to recover here defensively. They're able to, and now the ball once again just being really bulleted around from LaSalle, and they're trying to get it inside. They're not able to. Good defense from the Hawks, but they're going to have to find a way to get the ball back. And once again, LaSalle just bulleting it around, and the prep making sure that nobody gets open inside. Back to Jackson Trybinski at the top of the key. Chase Carl defending him. Now back to the right wing, behind the net once again, and it's kind of just ring around the rosy here for LaSalle. And Tommy Duffy with the stick checks trying to knock it loose. He's not able to. Back over to the right wing to Malone. He's able to get Dobkin off balance, but he passes it back to the top of the key. Over to Kruger once again. And now swings it to the right wing over to William Trybinski. And now looks like Kruger's going to try and win that one-on-one over to William Trybinski. Back behind the net once again. LaSalle picking up the pace here. Thought about getting to somebody inside. And he tried to get it to Jackson, but he was not able to. And now it's back over to the left wing. LaSalle just really holding it here. They've had the ball for what feels like an eternity.
3 minutes
and now.
now.
Pass inside, shot on goal. It is good! Shot good there from Bastelar, and LaSalle take a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, you know, you got to be careful when you're going inside there. If you're LaSalle, obviously, St. Joe spreads out a bit. LaSalle says, all right, we can find an opening. We'll take advantage of it easily. And now it's 3. But obviously not a comfortable lead, especially in the PCL Championship. I mean, anything flies right now.
Yeah, it's a shame for the Hawks. You thought you had the goal with Bieberbach. Could have
Now they
been
got
3
new rodeo as well,
right,
Ryan.
Nick Dobkin to the face-off. But you thought you had the goal with Bieberbach, and they said he was in the crease. And now Nick, once again, as I mentioned, Nick Dobkin for the face-off. Saw him a little bit against Devon Prep in the first game in the regular season. And now we'll see if he can be the one to beat Peterman in the face-off, but it has been yet to be done. And now Dobkin giving Peterman a bit of a fight here, and he's able to win it. That's what you need if you're the prep, and now it is loose. Kush got the bad pass, and he recovers. Peterman with the stick check, and it goes out, and it will go to LaSalle.
Gaffney loses it there. Obviously, gets right past the stick. Peterman, what a slash there. That's why he's the MVP for sure.
And the prep finally won a face-off, but they were just not able to recover. And now the prep trying to get the ball back, and that's a killer if you're the Hawks. They had it. They won the face-off, but they lost the ball. Now here's Malone on the right wing, gets it behind the net.
Ryan, obviously, it all starts with the face-off there. Peterman's been the guy all season for LaSalle. MVP, obviously. Dobkin may have shot him down there, found a solution.
And now, bad pass from Trybinski.
Gotta get out, gotta get
Drew
out.
Reeves loses it, though. 4 bodies surrounding him. And they were able to knock it out, that being LaSalle, and they get it right back.
Hey, you want to talk about getting swarmed right away. I mean, Drew Reeves touches it. 4 LaSalle guys right away swarm right around them. Does not get anything by. I think you're forgetting it. You want to get it to Cunningham.
And Malone
Watch
gets
inside.
it inside. Shot on goal. No, the ball was lost there. Great thing for the prep, as that could have been disastrous. Trybinski almost had a shot. And that could have been 5-1, but luckily for the Hawks, it's not. But bad news, LaSalle still has the ball with Malone at the top of the key, defended by Micah Pruden. Ball to the right wing, or to Dominello. Now ball being swung around. Trybinski back behind the net. And now LaSalle picking up the pace here. Gets it inside. Malone trying to use his speed to get inside, but the help defense comes in from Chase Carl back to the outside. Malone gets it once again here on the right wing. Pick set. Micah Pruden not really going to let it affect him. And a bad pass over the head of Trybinski. And we'll go behind the net. It'll go to the Hawks.
And that's what we want to see for St. Joe's now. Let's see. I'm telling you, you want to get to Cunningham here. They're guarding him obviously really, really tight for if you're LaSalle, but I think you get to Cunningham, show speed, or maybe not.
Well, Keegan Dunn not going to agree with you there, Dom. And now a bad pass over from Chase Carl. And it's recovered by LaSalle and the Hawks. Another turnover. Now the ball's still knocked loose. And once again recovered by LaSalle.
And that's been a theme in the last game as well, Ryan. These long passes by Keegan Dunn just can't work out. Can't do that if it's not working.
Yeah, it definitely did not work there. Evident that LaSalle once again have the ball, and another turnover for the Hawks, and that has been the problem for them in this game.
Just need to get it to Cunningham. Need to get the stop here. Give it to Cunningham. Let him drive down. You have all the brute force there with the D1 kid going to UMass. Just give it to the long stick defender.
And now the Prep getting their defensive guys up. LaSalle getting their offensive guys, and Nick Dobkin zooming down to get back defensively for the Hawks. And now there's Bastelar swinging it around over to Trybinski on the right wing. And now try to find somebody inside, but he wasn't able to. And now the ball is being swung around once again. LaSalle just swinging it around so they can really find anybody inside. They've been able to do it a couple of times so far.
They're trying to get him to bite outside right now. You can see. Cut inside by Waitsel, my go.
And a cut inside, shot on goal, saved by Keegan Dunn. Good shot from Trybinski, but Keegan Dunn able to save it. But the Hawks have to get it past.
Can't jump it, can't throw it away.
They have to get it past midfield, and they do get it to Nick Cunningham. And now to Chase Carl, the Hawks. Yeah, they have to get past midfield, as you mentioned here, Dom, and they get it to Trout Cush in transition.
Watch Dom
Cush
Flynn.
finds Dom Flynn. Shot! No good! But Quinn Gaffney able to be closest to it. And yeah, Dom Flynn on the left wing, he was a bit too far away, though, from the net, and that is why he was not able to score. And now the Hawks under a minute remaining here.
Need to score.
Yeah, score is definitely needed. Try to go into the half with some momentum. Make sure you stay tuned for Hawk Talk at the half with Ryan Connaughton and Bobby Wright, but we'll get into that in just a minute here. Chris Bryan got a low pass, able to receive it, and now help defense comes in, and Bryan had the one-on-one, but once again, the great help defense from LaSalle able to shut down the Hawks, and now 35 seconds. And the Hawks will stick with these offensive guys. Dom Flynn.
They're looking for Bryan inside.
Yeah, Dom Flynn trying to get it inside, and a bad pass, and Bieberbach trying to recover. He's running, and he loses it, and it goes out. Bieberbach mistimed it, and LaSalle will have it with 23 seconds. A huge opportunity here for the Explorers, and a whistle here. I believe it was a timeout. Yes, it was a timeout called, I believe, by LaSalle. And Dom, just a couple of mishaps here in the last few minutes for the Hawks are the reason that this is a 3-point game.
Every time I think about these mistakes, the Hill School, Pregame, LaSalle, the first matchup they played, this is where St. Joe's just crumbles. These mistakes, they can't find a way to respond. And just the opposing teams here are just able to turn these Hawks mistakes into their benefits and just capitalize all day. You know, a 3-goal lead right now for LaSalle. Obviously not put away by no means. Still 24 minutes to play and some change. You know, obviously Keegan Dunn's getting really excited with the deep passes. You really can't do that. You know, you're only 1 for 3 on them. 2 turnovers already on those deep passes. Just the defense, the stout defense, just getting really tired. And you see with Bieberbach on that routine play, slips right by. Maybe just the rain. I can't really tell. Maybe judge is short, but 22 seconds. You might give a chance. Maybe put Peterman in here. Try to storm down. We'll get to see now.
It doesn't look like they will do so, but LaSalle will have the ball with 22 seconds, and the Hawks, once again, another turnover for them. That have been a big thing here, a big theme in the second quarter for the Prep, and now LaSalle, 22 seconds, big opportunity for them.
Watch deep passes here by holdout.
Yeah, the Hawks bench is loud, not so much of the student section, though, and a very dangerous pass, and it goes out of bounds, or no, actually,
timeout?
A timeout called, and it looks like LaSalle called the timeout right before they went out of bounds. And now, Dom, LaSalle, they have the ball in the Hawks territory with 12 seconds. How do you think they proceed?
Well, I'm giving it to one of the Trybinskis. Obviously, they've been the leaders this game, and yeah, there's no guarantee that they're the two I'll return to right now. Obviously, William Trybinski, the junior attacker, has been incredible this game, and we'll see. I expect St. Joe's to play a really tight defense around the crease. You don't want one of the LaSalle defender getting close, and obviously with 12 seconds left, especially if they're able to cut it down to 3 seconds, they're going to get a deep shot there. Obviously, St. Joe's probably will not be able to score. It would be one miracle if they would be able to, but
You can't really think about scoring here in the last 12 seconds. If you're the Hawks, you really just got to think about defense and stopping LaSalle. You don't want to make this a 4-point game going into the halftime break, as that would not be ideal at all if you are St. Joe's Prep. And Now the defense coming back out for the Hawks. LaSalle offense still in the huddle. They're about to come out from it, and 12.4 remaining here, folks. This is going to be an interesting end to the first half, and the Hawks trying to get some momentum going into the second half with a possible stoppage here, not letting LaSalle score, and now lots of orders being barked from the St. Joe's Prep sideline.
Watch Haley here, right inside the goal. If they get it to him, he might be able to capitalize right away. We'll see.
7 seconds. Here's Strapinski, wins his one-on-one on Tommy Duffy. Roll dodge from him.
He's got to put it up. He's got to put it up.
And a bad pass inside. Recovered there by the Hawks, and that will do it for the first half. The Hawks able to prevent LaSalle from scoring there, but they were not able to prevent the 4 goals from LaSalle. The Prep were able to score the first, but LaSalle have scored 4 straight. And that will do it for our first half coverage here. Hawk Talk at the half coming up in just a few moments with Bobby Wright and Ryan Condon. I'm Ryan Sullivan, joined by Dom Campanaro. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for the second half. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Hawk Talk at the half.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the PCL Championship at Arcadia University. This is Hawk Talk After the Half. I'm Ryan Condon here with my co-host, Bobby Wright. Bobby, I'm enjoying the game. Are you?
Well, I mean, I'd love to see the Prep on the board there more, but it has been an exciting game.
Yeah, I know. Prep is down 4-1 at the half, but the defense is looking good. Only letting one of the best teams in the state 4 goals. I think the defense is playing well. I do think patience is the name of the game right now. LaSalle holding the ball for numerous amounts of time, waiting for a Prep defenseman to make a mistake, and then they capitalize on it. Prep defense is playing very well, though, so LaSalle is having trouble scoring goals. Bobby, what do you think St. Joseph's Prep should do going into the second half?
I mean, Prep just needs to figure out how to keep possession. I mean, like you said, defense is playing well, but the offense isn't getting chances because LaSalle just keeps on keeping the ball, and eventually just so much possession, they're just going to keep on outscoring.
I agree with you, Bobby. Possession time is a big thing for this Prep. When they had possession, they did score. Though the Bieberbach goal was called back due to him being in the crease, the first goal was amazing. I mean, just they have to get possession of the ball, but LaSalle is holding it. So if you just get the ball from LaSalle, go on the offensive, you will score goals. Bobby, what do you think we will see from St. Joseph's Prep going in the second half?
I think we'll see a lot more pressure on LaSalle. I mean, like, they're kind of just letting LaSalle just throw a ball around and just keep possession. I think they really got to stop that, put pressure on them, force them to move the ball a lot quicker to try and force turnovers and just keep that possession a bit more even.
Bobby, if you're LaSalle, what are you doing to maintain this lead and shut down this electric St. Joseph's Prep offense?
Really, just the opposite. Just try and keep possession. Like, what are the Prep tries to do to counter the possession? I mean, just try and counter it. Make good passes, crisp passes.
Yeah, if I'm Jack Forrester, I'm telling our guys to keep doing what you're doing. It's obviously working. You have the lead going into the second half. If I'm Coach Princehorn, I'm talking about possession and face-offs. Only one face-off win for the Prep, and it's coming from Nick Dobkin against Peterman, the PCL MVP. Bobby, I think this is going to be a really electric second half. Only 4-1. I'm expecting it more goals from both sides, but I really hope Prep will turn this around and get possession time so they can score more goals. Bobby, what can you see in the second half?
I mean, you just said it right there. I mean, more goals. I mean, like, we had a very high-scoring first quarter with 3-1, except then LaSalle scored one goal. I mean, Prep had that one goal that was overturned, but I think we're going to see a lot more goals this second half and a lot more offense.
Yeah, Prep scored first, which is a very big thing for this game, but LaSalle is scoring often. Prep only let up one goal in the second half, which is very good compared to the 3 they let up in the first. I think going into the second half, some key players for the Prep are Nick Cunningham. You have to give him the ball. Dom Campanaro has been saying it all night. He's a freight train. He has the brute force to go down the field and score. Also, I think Quinn Gaffney will have a big second half. He's probably been – Dom Campanaro has also been saying this. He's been the playoff MVP for the Prep. But for LaSalle, Roman Apoldo has been having a great game as in the goal, in the webbing, only letting up one goal from this Prep offense, which has been very good all season. Also, Christian Peterman, the center, has won most of the faceoffs this game, except the one against Nick Dobkin. He's getting hot. I think that's it for me, Bobby. What do you see? Who do you think will have a good second half?
I mean, I really think William Trubisky, he's going to have, like, a big second half. I think he can open this up and really start scoring some goals. I think he might get hot there, and I think they just got to start feeding him the ball.
Yeah, William Trubisky has been getting the ball in the offensive this whole game, just unable to get past the Prep defense like Tom Duffy and Nick Dobkin and Chase Carl. This defense, though, they have let up 4 goals, but it's not really their fault. They're playing amazing. It's just the mishaps and the slip-ups have come not too often. They're playing amazing, as I said earlier. Just when it happens, LaSalle is able to jump on it immediately and score against Keegan Dunn. Bobby, we have a minute left till the third quarter. I'm excited for the second half. Are you?
Absolutely. I mean, this is really going to be a great game here.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, there's more to come in the second half. And I will be giving it back to Ryan Sullivan and Dom Campanaro in 45 seconds. Stay here, folks.
Back for second half coverage here on WSJP, where LaSalle College High School leads 4-1 over the Hawks. Great job from Ryan Connaughton and Bobby Wright. Hawk Talk at the half. Nick Dobkin at the faceoff here with Peterman was able to win once, but he's not able to win that time. LaSalle win the faceoff to start, and now Peterman getting stick checked here by Dobkin.
Gotta be careful here again.
Yeah.
Speed, all speed by Peterman. That's why he's PCL MVP. He drives by defenders all day, going from right to left there, real quick there. As you saw.
And now here's Bastelar to get things going here for the Explorers. And now he swings it around. I believe that's Malone at the top.
Yep,
of the key.
second
Yes, it
team
is.
All Catholic right there, the midfielder.
Yep. And now over to the right wing, over to Trybinski. And once again, the Hawks not possessing the ball. That was an issue in the first half, as they really did not have much time with the ball. And Trybinski setting a pick for Malone. The ball just continuously being moved around back to the top of the key to Malone. And now over to the right, or I'm sorry, the left wing. Now behind the net, Trybinski. I'm sorry, that's Kruger. And now back to the top of the key.
It's
Over to
Rigoni.
Rigoni. Yeah, Rigoni. And now here's Malone. Tries to get inside on Trot Kush. Roll dodge from him. Thought about the shot. And he just passes it out over to Rigoni. And now back to Malone. Now back to Rigoni once again. Once again back to Malone there on the right side.
Carl gets a stick in there. He's going to have a steal all day.
And we'll see if he does so. And now back behind the net over
Watch
to
inside as
Trybinski.
well, maybe? No.
And yeah, the prep covering that up. And now ball out to the top of the key. And now to the right side of the top of the key. And now here's Malone with it. Trot Kush defending. And now Trybinski with it. And now over to Malone. And then now back behind the net. Bastelar. Malone again. And LaSalle have almost
Just
held
bouncing
it.
around.
Yeah,
Held it for 2 minutes
they're
already
just,
now.
almost 2 minutes to start. And they're just moving the ball now over to the right wing. And now, once again, back to the left wing. And we're just continuously moving the ball around. I mean, you love to give some analytical analysis here, but there really
There's
isn't
not
much to say here. I mean, LaSalle's just moving it, trying to get it inside, and here's Malone top of the key over to the left.
St. Joe's
wing.
pounces, LaSalle's going to drive right by. You need to be careful.
Yeah, now LaSalle looks like they're trying to pick up the pace. The Hawks realized it. Now they slowed down LaSalle.
They want Domino on the inside there. He's still going to sit there, guarded by Dobkin. Let's watch.
Pass over to the left wing. Now back out to Trybinski again. Swing over onto the right wing. Defense here from Trot Kush. Help defense comes in. Trybinski shot on goal, saved by Keegan Dunn, but it goes out.
He's gotta
And
get
now
up.
it's loose, and it looks like it could go out here. Who's gonna get it? It's now knocked around, and it's still loose. It's behind the net. Almost recovered there by LaSalle. And
Lost
it's
it.
still loose, and I mean this is ridiculous here. Chase Carl trying to knock around. LaSalle recovers.
A sequence. I don't know how to respond to that.
Pass inside. Great defense there from Nick Dobkin to knock it loose. Trybinski recovers, though, as it went behind the net, and that could have been disastrous from the Hawks. Nick Dobkin having himself a day.
The guy on defense in and get that one face-off win for the Hawks today.
And now the Preps bench getting hype here. They're trying to rally their defense, but the defense has been defending for so long, almost 4 minutes straight. And now the pass around. Kruger gets it out. Trybinski.
Almost lost it there again by Trybinski.
And now you can hear the energy from the Hawks. And now
Watch
right
the
behind the
inside.
net. Pass inside Malone. It's loose. And Nick Cunningham brought it all the way around. And it's still loose. It goes to midfield. And now LaSalle recovers once again.
Beaverbach watched it go by.
And the Hawks just can't seem to recover the ball here. And now, as I said, almost 4 minutes the Hawks have been defending. The Hawks are just not able to get the ball offensively, and that could be very detrimental to the end of this contest. And once again, LaSalle just moving the ball around. Trybinski now on the left wing, and now over to the top of the key. Here's Bastelar, and now swinging it to the right side of the top of the key, that being Kruger. And now it's swung to the left side of the top of the key, and now back to Kruger on the right. Defended here by Cush. Kruger getting behind the net. The Hawks just going to let him go. And now over to Bastelar there on the left wing.
Cunningham's coming out. This might be a big issue here.
And Cush tries to move out there, and once again, almost 5 minutes down, and it seems like the clock's the enemy for the Explorers. And now ball at the top of the key, now to the left wing. Bastelar moves to a little bit on the inside, but passes it back out.
I mean, at some point, he needs a lot more pressure here. Ryan St. Joe's is really just.
And here
giving
comes the
some
pressure.
damage.
Shot there by Trybinski. It's loose. Shot. Cush recovers. The Hawks finally are able to get the ball.
Now you got
And here we
Cunningham go
go.
down.
Here we go. Here's Shot Cush in transition. Here come the Hawks, but LaSalle back there to defend. Great recovery there from the Explorers. And now here's Dom Flynn. This is what you needed, Camp, if you're the Hawks.
Yeah, you know, you wanted to get an offensive possession, and you got one. It's exactly what you got, and that's exactly what we needed.
Here's Dom Flynn. He needs to score on that offensive possession, really. And now here's Chris Bryan with it. Craig Webster in for Trot Cush. And now it looks like the Prep trying to get their guys who really score on the inside, that being Craig Webster. Here's Quinn Gaffney now near the right sideline. Gets it back to the top of the key to Webster, now to the left wing over to Dom Flynn. And now kind of right parallel to the net, that being Chris Bryan. Roll out from him right. And now he's in and out. And he just runs back to the top of the key. Gets it to Warak. Shot on goal from him. Another save there, and it's recovered by LaSalle. The Hawks, though, knocking the ball loose. What a check from Warak. It's still loose. LaSalle recovers. Gaffney, stick checks from him. It's still loose on the ground. It's being knocked around. It looks like a kid's soccer game out there.
You need to get it
And
up.
now Gaffney's able to recover. Here comes the Prep in transition, but Gaffney has a sea of gold in front of him. Shot. It goes out, and it goes to LaSalle.
Waste of a possession there by St. Joe's. We'll see if they can somehow respond. They forced a shot and may have been very costly, and now you got to play desperate.
Domkin forcing it out, and now it's loose, and it goes out. Domkin forces Dominello out of bounds. It is pouring here in Arcadia. Gaffney over to Dom Flynn at the top of the key. And now Flynn will hold it. I think we can all breathe for a second. Offsides, and it goes to LaSalle.
I mean, talk about Dobkin real quick. Arguably the MVP of the game for St. Joe's.
Who was offsides, though, Dom? I couldn't see.
I saw Jack Forrester, LaSalle's coach, pointing.
I could not see who was offsides there, but I saw the official. I sure as well heck saw the official call it, though. And, yeah, as I mentioned, it is pouring here at Arcadia. I think everybody down on the field could hear me. And now we can breathe for a second, but the Hawks come out of that possession empty. And now here's
You need
LaSalle.
pressure now. You need pressure.
And that is what Nick Cunningham is doing. I think that they really do hear us here in the booth. And now Malone, defended by Chase Carl, gets over on the right wing to Trybinski, back behind the net. And now almost 5 minutes remaining here. Malone, top of the key, thought about the shot, but good defense from Chase Carl. Over to the left wing, now behind the net. Trybinski, pass out to the right wing. Shot. No, actually pass behind the net to Jackson Trybinski.
Go
Pass
outside.
inside. Good defense. Shot on goal, no good. LaSalle closest to it, but it's not out yet. Saved there by Trybinski. Drew Reeves trying to come up with it. It almost might go out here. Hold. It'll go to the Prep. LaSalle held Drew Reeves. The Hawks with possession. And now Keegan Dunn, not with that pass upfield, gets it over to Trot Cush. And now,
Brian, the guy coming on our right side now.
yeah, Brian, but he's defended. And now Trot Cush through a sea of.
Barreling through.
Yeah, and now here comes the Prep. Tommy Duffy thought about the shot. And you heard the disappointment from the student section. And now Trot Cush is going to hold it, get the offensive guys up. Duffy back, Warak front. And now here come the Hawks. This is a must score here for the Prep to get that momentum back in the favor. Here's Warak. And he swings it. Looks like that's Quinn Gaffney on the right wing. Yes, it is. Craig Webster in, Trot Cush out. And now the Hawks bench is hype, trying to get the student section hype as well. Gaffney to the right wing over to Warak. Had a shot attempt earlier, did not go in. Wins his one-on-one.
Can't force
Left
a shot
and
here,
right.
Ryan.
Rourke gets inside shot. It goes off the crossbar, and it might go out here. Yes, it will, but Dom Flynn closest to it. The Hawks retain possession. And that was a little bit more to the left there, Dom, and that was in. It would have been a 4-2 ball game.
Ryan, I'm nervous that the suit didn't work. Our poll obviously said I had to wear a suit. We'll see, though.
Brian, help defense came in on him after he's won his
When
one-on-one.
Bieberbach on the inside.
And now Webster gets it out to Gaffney, and it looks like the prep going to maybe try and get Bieberbach to cut to the net, but they are face guarding him. And now here's Dom Flynn. It's kind of settled down here. A cool C at
Bieberbach's
Arcadia.
got no room to walk around.
Here's Dom Flynn at the top of the key, and he gets it over to Bieberbach. You mentioned Dom, no room to walk around, and now Bieberbach, who hasn't really touched the ball a lot here in this second half, but the Hawks haven't really touched it that much either. Bieberbach gets a man off balance. Bieberbach has an opportunity, gets it to Gaffney, but LaSalle recovers, shot saved! And another chance the prep do not take advantage of.
15 minutes left, and there's no aggressiveness by St. Joe's.
And now here comes Kruger. Nick Dobkin chasing him down. And a pass inside, shot on goal by Basilar, goes over the net as he was zooming down the middle of the field. And now on the outside, LaSalle trying to get their offensive guys in there. They're trying to pick up the pace here. The Hawks just kind of crunching up on the inside. It's behind the net now. Trybinski going to have to reset here, swings it out. Here's Kruger, gets it out.
Keegan Dunn looks strained right now. I mean,
The
can't
defense
blame him.
The defense have been defending for so long in this third quarter. The Hawks have not really touched it offensively. And now LaSalle, top of the key. Basilar gets it out over to Kruger, and now he moves over to the top of the key, over to the left wing, and now back to the top of the key once again. And now no defense here on Trybinski. It goes behind the net. Almost 2 minutes remaining here. Here's Jackson Trybinski. Nick Cunningham almost knocked the ball away, but now LaSalle recovers. Pass behind the net. Jackson Trybinski, pass inside. It goes to Kruger. Shot on goal. It is good. Kruger scores. It is 5-1 LaSalle. And that hurts, Tom.
Nice to keep down talking to the defense. I mean, I'm surprised that Prince wouldn't call timeout on the offensive possession. I mean, you force a shot there, you get the offsides call as well. Dobkin with the steal, another offsides call. The first goal of the half, and it goes against the Hawks.
Yeah, the Prep have not scored since the early stages of the first quarter. Dobkin to the face-off. And he's with Peterman. The Hawks have struggled on the face-offs, only winning one today. And we'll see if they can get this one. And they will not. Peterman wins it again. 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Dobkin just trying to do anything, and just the Hawks not.
You need to play so aggressive here, Ryan.
Trybinski, bad pass behind the net. And he's trying to tell the referee it was tipped. Yeah, he's trying to tell the referee it was tipped, but it was not, and the Hawks have it with 1:42. Dom, I don't know, do you hold it for the last 2 minutes, or do you try and force a shot right away?
You gotta score. There's no doubt in my mind. You can't put up 4 goals in 12 minutes. It seems nearly impossible, especially in the PCL Championship against a team allowing 91 goals.
And here's Chase Carl.
You need to defy the odds if you were able to do that.
Gets it over to Duffy. He gets stick-checked past midfield, and now gets it over to Chris Bryan on the right wing, and the Hawks, it seems like they're not really going to agree with you, but maybe they're trying to get their offensive guys in there. And Dom Flynn comes up, Trot Cush, and now Gaffney swings it over to Dom Flynn at the midway point. And now here is Cush on the deep left wing, gets it over to Flynn.
Bieberbach with the inside there. That's your guy for the shot here. You know that he's got the best shot on the team, the D1 guy committed to Hobart. You got to set him up. Obviously, inside the crease right now. You got called for that earlier.
Now Gaffney trying to get the edge here, and he was not able to. And a shot from him, it looked like it went off the crossbar. It's loose. Gaffney got checked there, and it's recovered by LaSalle. And the stick checks here from Craig Webster. Doesn't really look like they're going to work. And a pass. And that is going to be a tough one for Trybinski. He comes up with it, though, but he's trapped, and he's able to get it away. 33 seconds. LaSalle have the opportunity. Basilar shoots, and he scores. But a penalty flag down. And LaSalle.
Carl might get called with check.
Slash there, maybe.
Correct.
All right, and now it is 6-1 LaSalle.
That one's going to hurt.
that, and we'll see what the official call is. Hold on. The referees are going to come near us, Dom. Let me hear this call.
It was called on Carl, though.
Unnecessary roughness there on Carl. 1 minute in the box, and LaSalle will have it. No face-off. Peterman has it, and 6-1, 30 seconds. It's not looking good, Dom. Not looking good in this third quarter.
Everything's just not in favor of St. Joseph's game. It really isn't. Just everything they've done has been a mistake and has been corrected by the Explorers team. I mean,
I'm sorry. I don't know what I was saying. No face-off. Is a face-off. Dobkin to it.
Not what you want to see if you're a St. Joseph fan as well.
Not at all. You got to score if you're the Prep. You got to get any sort of momentum. And as I mentioned, chase Carl in the penalty box for 1 minute.
And to add on to that, 5 goals, you lose a man as well, and you only have 12 minutes to potentially make some form of a miracle in this game.
And now, I think that the PA announcer is just announcing the penalty and all that. And now, early start there from Dobkin. It goes to LaSalle.
This could be a dagger early, Ryan.
Possibly. It's not been a good second and third quarter for the Hawks. They're looking to turn around in the fourth. That'll come in about 20 seconds, and it looks like LaSalle will just hold. It doesn't look like they will do anything here to end the third. Or maybe they will. Now they're going to move it around here a bit. 7 seconds, and they will.
And they're just
going to hold it.
Hold it there, yeah.
Right, they're just going to hold it. And now we go into the fourth quarter. It is 6-1 LaSalle with 12 minutes remaining here in the PCL season. And that will all be covered here on WSJP. Once again, I'm Ryan Sullivan, joined by Dom Campanaro. We'll be back for the fourth quarter action here on WSJP. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Fourth quarter action here on WSJP as LaSalle leads 6-1 over St. Joe's Prep, and they will have it to start the fourth quarter, that being the Explorers, as they held it at the end of the third quarter. Dom, that hasn't been great to start in the second and third quarter.
It's been LaSalle all this whole game. It's been LaSalle, honestly. I think every mistake that St. Joseph's has made, LaSalle, I mean, it's been all season as well. Whatever St. Joseph's does wrong, the opposing team is able to correct that perfectly. Pregame and Valley, or Pregame School. Remember that game when we were there at Penn Park? Unanswered in the second half.
And now LaSalle, I mean, they could just probably play keep away here to start, and it looks like they might be trying to score. They're moving the ball around. Malone swings it around. Rigoni loses it, or he thought he lost it. It looks like some kind of towel came up.
Yeah,
something on the ground. Bad pass, goes out of bounds. It'll go to the Hawks, and now the Prep, you need anything here. Here's Trot Cush, and he gets it over to Keegan Dunn. Bryan in the game, and he gets it to Nick Cunningham, but Cunningham wants to get it to Bryan. Yeah, and Bryan has it. He's getting double teamed now, and now great moves here from Chris Bryan. He gets past midfield, and now Gets it over to Quinn Gaffney. And now Gaffney on the right sideline gets it over to Dom Flynn, also on the right sideline. Now back to the top over to Mason Warak, more towards the right, though. And now Trot Kush comes up, and that's who they will roll it to. And now the Hawks. I mean, you got to go here. You're down.
You
down
can't
five.
hesitate, Ryan. You're right. You have no time in the world. You have to put up 5 goals.
All right. Here's Trot Kush. Kush at the top of the key. Swings it over to the left wing to Brian. It's loose. Brian able to come up with it, though. And now some change of direction from him. Gets it to Dom Flynn behind the net. And now back over to Brian on the left wing. Brian almost had the one-on-one win, but once again, the help defense from LaSalle. That's been key for them here today. Here's Gaffney. Gets it over to the right wing. I believe that is Kush. Or, I'm sorry, that's Warak. And now Warak trying to do anything. Gets it back to the top of the key to Gaffney. Pick set by Bieberbach. And now Gaffney
He's got to be careful.
gets it over to Warak once again on the right wing. Back to Dom Flynn, and it is a bad pass. It goes out behind him, and it goes to LaSalle. And now some pressure here from Dom Flynn. He knocks it loose. It goes out, and it will go to the Hawks. So a turnover for the Prep. There's a little bit of life. And now the student section starting to jump up and down a little bit. Bounce pass here to Bieberbach. And
That's all they're doing now.
interesting pass to Kush, and he loses it. Gaffney realizes it at the last second,
Watched it.
and LaSalle comes up with it. Once again, the Hawks, they had it, and they just turn it over at the last second, and LaSalle will have it once again. And now they will just probably try to drain most of the clock, I'm assuming, Dom. And actually a bad pass here, and it's still loose. Nick Cunningham!
That'll be a foul.
That is going to be a push by Cunningham, knocking Trybinski down as he did not have the ball. And that's another costly mistake from the Prep.
They're playing player, not ball now, and that's horrible right now in this game. You can't play player, not ball. We're down by 5.
Bastelar swings it around. Here's Kruger.
And St. Joe's easily would have been able to take possession of that. Just, I mean, it's the mentalness of this game is getting out of you.
And now ball being swung around here from LaSalle. Bastelar gets it over to the right wing. Trybinski now behind the net. And now Bastelar once again roll dodge there on Micah Pruden, but Pruden good defense. Bastelar trying to get inside. Shot from him, no good. It goes behind the net. LaSalle closest to it. They'll retain the ball. And now they're quick to get back to it. And now going behind the net, Trybinski gets inside. Shot on goal, no good. And it will once again stay with LaSalle.
They went high twice already, Ryan. Let's see if they go low here.
Yeah, they went high on the shot, and it went over Keegan Dunn's head, or over the net, I should say. And now here comes LaSalle. Bastelar once again swings it out. And now over to the left wing. Back over to Kruger.
LaSalle
Yeah,
just looks like they're
Trybinski.
2 steps ahead in this game right now, Ryan.
The Trybinski's passing it back and forth behind the net, and yeah, LaSalle they have been 2 steps ahead. It seems like Trybinski roll dodge there on Kush, and now swinging it around. William gets to Jackson, back to William once again, and they're just playing keep away
forth.
from the Prep here, almost taunting them. And now the Prep trying to get a little bit more aggressive here in the defensive approach, but LaSalle continuously moving the ball. And now they get it to the top of the key, and they will continue to hold under 8 minutes remaining here in this game. And Dom, it is
Yeah, it's life slipping away right now for the St. Joe's
right. They got to
team.
get more aggressive. I think. What do you think? I mean, they got
Gotta double
got
up.
to get more
Gotta
aggressive
double
here
up.
defensively. Cunningham trying to run out to get it.
Dobkins just bouncing around. I mean, obviously, he's really put the team on his back, I'd say.
And
Him
now-
and Trot Kush.
Right, Trybinski,
I'm going at it still.
Malone, and now it looks like LaSalle's going through the motions. Coach Princehorn had something to say to the officials. I don't know really what it was, but he had something to say for sure. And now Malone gets it inside, shot, and it goes behind the net. I've learned my lesson to not call the goal when it goes behind the net. Shout out to the Radnor game, and now here's Chase Carl. Carl trying to get something going in transition for
Gotta
the
go faster.
Hawks.
Gotta keep on going. You can't slow down here. You have less than 7 minutes left to put up 5 goals.
Yeah, I'm sure the offense is not too tired. They haven't really held the ball that much today. And now here's over to Chris Bryan. Bryan gets it to Trot Kush down the middle. Shot from him. It is good. That is what the Hawks needed. You got to get some life. Trot Kush gets his second goal of the game.
If that went a foot higher, Ryan, LaSalle may have picked that up, stormed right back downfield, and put it away. But lucky enough for Trot Kush, finds it, pots it in for second of the night.
You can definitely not celebrate if you're the Prep. You're down by 4 with under 7 minutes remaining, and you got to keep the pressure going on LaSalle. Nick Cunningham to face off for the first time today. Haven't really seen him face off since the game against Springfield.
Hopefully not as less as well.
And now it's a big face-off here for the Hawks, but Peterman, the PCL MVP, we'll see how he does under one of the most pressurized situations. He'll face all season, face off loose, recovered by Peterman, and that hurts if you're the Hawks. You needed that one, but they are pressuring Peterman. Shot from him, no good, and LaSalle closest to it. And now LaSalle and the Prep trying to get their personnel in there for offense and defense. Basilar swings it around, and now LaSalle, they can hold it once again here. And now here's Malone, top of the key. A little higher than that, though. And now he's just kind of standing around with it. Cunningham moving up on him. Duffy face guarding his guys. And now here's Basilar. Good roll dodge there on Dobkin. He just goes right back out with it. If you're Dobkin, you got to put some pressure on him, and that's what he's trying to do here. It's actually Dominello with it. I apologize. And now he once again moves back with it. And now Dominello trying to get by Dobkin here, and he just kind of moves towards the sideline. Pressure defense coming in, and now LaSalle going to have to get rid of it. Here's Kruger, and he's able to receive it, and a great job there from LaSalle to get out of it. Duffy just trying to do anything. LaSalle wanting a slashing call there on Duffy, but they're not going to get it. Here's Kruger, and a great job from LaSalle to get out of that predicament. And now Kruger behind the net. And once again, they are just holding, and they are just killing clock here, which is what you cannot have if you're the Hawks. Duffy still trying to get something going with the stick checks here. Trybinski back over to Kruger. And now Duffy trying to once again do something with the stick checks, but it's just not working so far.
Yeah, that goal by Trot Kush is second. I mean, it shut down 6 unanswered goals.
And now the clock is still moving, and now here comes the help defense from the Hawks. Pass almost intercepted, but now it's taken by Nick Cunningham, and here comes Trot Kush in transition. Nick Dobkin got checked on the other end, but here comes Trot Kush on the other end. Kush tries to get inside, passing it around. Pass, inside shot, save there. Chase Carl almost had it, and now the Prep trying to make sure LaSalle does not get to their side, but they will do so. And Chase Carl almost had the interception there, and now LaSalle once again back to their side. They're holding it, 4:30 remaining, and as we said before, life is starting to slip. There's Kruger with it, and watch from behind. He got Kush behind you, but he realizes it at the last second. And now he's just going to run around behind the net, or kind of actually parallel to it, and now pass near midfield. And LaSalle, they will just hold it. Now another pass pretty much to midfield as well, that being to Rigoni. And now LaSalle holding it, 4 minutes remaining now. And now Duffy once again trying with the stick checks. Pass to Rigoni on the right wing, now back behind the net. Here's Trybinski, Reeves. Stick checks from him, just trying to knock it loose, not able to. Help defense comes in from Duffy. Trybinski just running around the net. And now another pass behind the net. Believe that was Rigoni, I want to say.
St. Joe's not looking desperate right now, although they only have 3.5 minutes left and they're down by 4. I mean, you got to be very desperate right now. You really do. You need to put any chance you have to stop LaSalle. You need to capitalize right away.
And now, ball is loose currently. Keegan Dunn with the recovery, and if you're the Hawks, you got to go here.
You got to get rid of it. Got to get rid of it. You're draining time.
And
as we were watching.
Dunn just can't seem to, Keegan Dunn just can't seem to find anybody open, and he gets it to midfield over to Duffy, and Duffy trying to find anybody, dangerous pass all the way downfield, that over to Quinn Gaffney, and now Gaffney, 3 minutes remaining, he got 4 goals to score, and Bieberbach back to Gaffney behind the net, And now Gaffney just trying to do anything with it. Has the angle. Nice roll dodge from him. And a help defense comes in. Pass out to Chris Bryan. He gets checked. And there's the penalty. There's the penalty flag
Keep it
flying.
going. Keep it going.
You got to
don't
try.
want to let LaSalle touch
Got
it
to try
now.
and find a way to score here with the penalty. Bryan just being knocked around, and he gets knocked down again. Dom
Gotta shoot
Flynn,
it.
shot from him, no good. And the Hawks closest to it. The Prep will get the penalty, though, so we'll see what the call is. And look at a man in the box. It was a push.
I think one or two here is the question. 'Cause I saw two flags coming from both sides
Well,
of the field.
well, let me hear the call really quickly. 30 seconds in the box. That being for Stahl, the midfield defensive guy and midfielder, first team All-Catholic this year. He's in the box for 30 seconds with the penalty. And now here's Gaffney. The Hawks, you need to score with a man in the box. And now here's Bieberbach, gets it over to Bryan.
Gotta give it to your hot hands. Give it to Kush. He's got 2 goals already. He's found something now.
Well, LaSalle double teaming him inside, and now Bryan on the top of the key, over to Warrack, top of the key as well. Thought about the shot, gets it over to Flynn.
Just shoot it.
Flynn, he didn't really have a shot there, though. Lots of guys in his way, and now just over 2 minutes remaining. Warrack again. The Prep trying to desperately shoot here. Bieberbach tries to find somebody inside, not able to. Gets it to Warrack. Watch behind you, and he just swings it over to Dom Flynn on the right wing. Sorry, the left wing, and now the Prep holding here, and Bieberbach has to get it all the way to midfield to Warrack, and they have to reset, and the man up not successful for the Hawks. And now Warrack gets it over to Flynn again. Flynn gets the pick set by Warrack, and his pass intercepted, and that seemed like the dagger. The Prep desperately trying to knock the ball free, and now, yeah, that seemed like the dagger there, Dom. And now it's actually
Maybe
a bad
not.
pass. Ball goes out, and
Hit off the leg.
it hits off the leg there
That's Ring.
of Ring, the Mammoth commit, first team All-Catholic. And timeout called by LaSalle. 1:22 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Dom, it's not looking good. Not looking good for the Hawks.
I mean, Ryan, obviously, you couldn't get a single goal in 8 minutes. I mean, and again, you're right. It starts off with the face-off, obviously. Only one face-off win for St. Joe's this entire game, and it pain. It's a tough pain, obviously. Keegan Dunn's probably drained. The whole defense is strained. Nick Dopkin on defense, absolutely incredible. But really, just somehow, some way, LaSalle finds that opening and just pushes the dagger even further and further into the heart of St. Joe's Prep fans.
Yeah, it's tough. The game is not really much in reach anymore if you're the Prep. And LaSalle seems to be, or at least their bench seems to pretty much be celebrating already as they pretty much see the writing on the wall. The Hawks will have the ball with 1:22 remaining in this game. And now here we go.
You gotta throw a shot up, Ryan. You really have nothing to do here.
And really nothing to lose, I guess you should say,
Absolutely.
right now.
I mean, you just gotta throw something up. You can't just drain a minute and 20 seconds without putting up a single shot, especially down by 4 in biggest game of the season.
Here's Chris Bryan, gets inside, he gets knocked down, no flag thrown, it's loose, recovered by LaSalle. Gaffney, you heard the check there, but LaSalle have it, and now pass upfield, under a minute remaining, and that seems to pretty much do it. Trybinski just going to go behind the net, and Drew Reeves still trying to knock the ball free. The Hawks trying to just find some life here, try to go out on a high note, and Dobkin with the stick check and timeout by the Explorers. They have it with 40 seconds remaining. Yeah, Dom, I don't know. You don't know what to say. Just don't know what to say.
Victory formation. I believe that's what the memo is for LaSalle. I mean, yeah, it's heartbreaking. I mean, it's still on the positive side, though. I mean, incredible season for St. Joe's, obviously. They'll finish 16-5 record. They they had their ups, they had their downs, surely, but when it came to these games, they just found ways to mess up, and
Fortunately.
it bit them. It really did.
Fortunately, the Hawks just not able to take advantage of LaSalle's mishaps, and their mishaps seem to have cost them greatly here. And with 40 seconds remaining, LaSalle has the ball on the Hawks side of the field, and looks like the Prep will go without a goalie here. Keegan Dunn out of the net, and that's the first this season.
You know, LaSalle, I mean, they probably won't score.
Well, they
Bieberbach
could.
coming out of the game.
All right, the Prep's trying to get every defensive guy in there to try to get the ball.
It's definitely out of reach now, fortunately.
Yeah. And now LaSalle with 40 seconds. And now here's Bastelar, and then this one will go to the Hawks. Personal foul there on LaSalle.
He's got to launch it. Doesn't even matter if it's a turnover. He's got to launch it here.
Here's Drew Reeves. And now 30 seconds. Trot Cush, try to catch the one-handed pass. And it's loose. Gaffney with the stick check goes out. It'll go to the Hawks. 23 seconds remaining. And once again, here is the Prep. Here's Cush. 2 goals for him in this game. The only 2 goals, and it's knocked loose. And
still loose.
Yeah, it's still loose on the ground. And timeout called there from the Hawks. Probably their last timeout of the season. They'll have the ball with just 10 seconds, and we can pretty much officially say that this one is pretty much over. A good run for the Hawks. Good run, you gotta say. It has been. It was a great season.
Yeah, Ryan, obviously, it really is a shame. You started, took on Central Bucks East, you had the first win of the season, and there you went on an 8-game win streak, took Springfield Elko, one of the best teams in
Defeated
the state. Obviously,
Radnor.
Radnor, I mean, talk about biggest win for the team. Stinks. The one game that they had to win, they couldn't find a way to come through. But still, I mean,
It's a shame.
it is a shame. But again, you got to look back on the positivity, you know.
Right.
You had to go, you went through a lot of ups and downs. You lost back-to-back games when we were at Penn Park.
Right.
10 seconds left.
And
You just
now
got to soak it all in, unfortunately.
Bieberbach, 5 seconds, and he'll probably shoot his last goal of his Prep career. Well, actually, he'll get it to Chris Bryan. Shot from him. Saved. And that will do it. LaSalle, once again, are your PCL Lacrosse champions. They defeat St. Joe's Prep 6-2. And that will end the Hawks season. LaSalle will move on to the PIAA 3A state playoffs. And that was the last broadcast here on WSJP for this season. Dom, it was I guess a rough way to definitely go out.
Obviously it sucks to see your team take it out, especially to the rival. Obviously it's LaSalle, but I mean, WSJP, quick rundown. What an incredible year we've had, obviously,
Right.
Ryan. Thousands of followers have we gained and finally surpassed on Instagram. Our YouTube channel, well over 1,500. Twitter as well, blowing up. And it's only the beginning. It's only the beginning of what more there is to come.
I think we can fairly say that we won the year of media. If that's a fair assessment.
We've said it as well. One of the best years we've ever had, and obviously it goes to our viewers. Without your support, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't do the things that we love to do the most, and obviously so grateful for the opportunity to be out here at Arcadia University on this Thursday night. When the exams are going on, we're out here and doing what we love as well, and
Right.
can't think for anything more. But obviously, Ryan, you'll be leading OGP with Dom Schalk. I'll be.
It's about to get
My
into
final
that.
year as well, but
Yeah, I was about to get into that. We know Gavin Heydrich's very thankful for the year that the audience has given him. And going into next year, myself and Dominic Schulk, we will be your presidents for WSJP. starting off obviously in football and probably ending with the lacrosse season next season. And obviously, Dom, Anthony Sorgi going to be our vice presidents of the club. Andrew Brousseau and Cole Coon going to be running things behind the scenes as well as LaSalle celebrates. But once again, from myself, thank you all for the viewership this season, and we really do appreciate it. For the last time this season, from myself, Ryan Sullivan, my color analyst, Dom Campanaro, thanks from our producer, Ryan Connaughton, our social media man, Bobby Wright, and our photographer, Cole Coon. We say thank you, have a good night, and go Prep.